All right, so again, what we filled in is the volume is the measurement of space occupied by a solid region. These are going to be rectangular prisms, so they look like cubes that might be longer or shorter. So can y'all think of like a real-life rectangular prism?
Well, it could be like a apartment building.
Okay.
A mattress.
A mattress.
A brick.
A brick. Jesse?
A box.
A box. What about this classroom?
Not exact though.
Close. If it wasn't for the door, it would be very close to a rectangular prism. The one that I think of that's most common is a swimming pool. And the reason I like to use a swimming pool is the space in a swimming pool. Can you fill it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, you usually fill it up with water so you can actually swim in it. Okay? So when we're talking about this space, that would be where the water goes in a swimming pool. All right? Again, our volume formula is just V equals LWH. This LW looks familiar. What is LW? Does anyone remember? Length times width. When do I do length times width? When else have I seen length times width? Leah?
Good morning, Thomas in middle school. It's a great day to be a warrior.
No, when we done area of a rectangle. I'm going to pause this. All right, so what Leah said before the announcements was just that length times width is also how I find the area of a rectangle. All right, so if we look at this shape, we could consider the base. Does the base have to be the bottom? No, but in this case, if I look at the bottom is a rectangle, and that's where they've put my length and my width. So it's going to be very important, guys. Your length and your width are attached to your base, even if it's not on the bottom. And the reason that matters is because the formula for the volume of any prism looks like V equals a capital B and then H. So this looks different, and I told you before and previously that capital B's would be used for something else. Here it is. What the capital B stands for, guys, is the area of the base. For a rectangular prism, what shape is our base? A rectangle, which is why we see length times width in this formula that we use in the 6th grade. But do we understand that that length times width is because my base is a rectangle? So do y'all see here, another way we could see that is this area of that base, which is a rectangle, times the height of how tall that rectangle is. All right? So we're going to look at some examples, and hopefully that as we go through these, you'll understand what I'm talking about as far as the base and our length and width go. So step 1 says to color in your base. Now we've said that our base has to have our length and our width attached to it. All right? So on this prism, which side has a length and a width? We can use the top, the bottom, the left, the right, or the front or the back. Martina?
It's the one on the side that we can see on the right.
Okay, so on the right side, she's saying I have 2 and 5. Do y'all agree with that? All right. Do I have to use the side 2 and 5? No. Look at the bottom. Does the bottom have 2 measurements? Yeah, so I could use the bottom, but since Martina told me to do the side, I'm going to shade in this side. What that means is this rectangular prism has been knocked over, and that pink part would have actually been the base, which we can also kind of refer to as the bottom, but is it necessarily going to be sitting on the bottom? No, because like this prism has been knocked over. So I'm going to start by writing my formula, which again, in the 6th grade, we use V equals LW for my rectangle, and then the height of the prism. Okay, my length and width have to come from what I shaded. So what are my length and my width on that pink square or rectangle? Martina?
2 and 5, which is the same thing
All right,
as
hold on.
the 10.
Hold on. 2 times 5, and then what is the height of my rectangle? 10, because 10 isn't talking about this center. 10 is talking about if I stood it up on that base, it would be 10 feet tall. Are y'all okay with that? So then we're going to multiply it times 10. And then this is where our calculator comes in. We can just type all of that. When I multiply that, what is it going to give me, Sheldon? 100 feet. Now, area is squared. Are we talking about area here?
No.
No, we're talking about volume.
Physical units.
We're talking about volume, which again, this is that three-dimensional figure. Am I talking about the entire three-dimensional shape?
Yes.
Yes, so we're going to put a 3 because it is 3D. Okay. All right, so let's look at number 2. All right, do I want to use the top, the bottom, the front, the back, or one of these two sides for my base? Ashlyn?
3.1
And 4. So 3.1 and 4. And I would call that the back of the rectangle. It's up to you, really, how you call it. Ashlyn was like, I'm just going to say the numbers. That's the perfect choice, Ashlyn. If we can pick the numbers that go together, just say the numbers. All right? Are we okay with why I chose those two? Do y'all see how they're attached to the same rectangle? All right. So that's why we shaded in that box. Martina?
If you think of it from a different angle, that is actually the front. If you see it from a different angle.
Okay. All right. So let's look at our volume. Our formula, again, is length, width, and height. What numbers do I have to use for my length and my width here, Owen, based on what we colored?
3.1 and 4.
3.1 and 4. And what's my height going to be then?
5.6.
5.6, yes. Okay, and then when I multiply those, so my calculator is definitely going to come in handy now. What do I get, Lane? 69.44, and then meters with a 3. Meters to the third or meters cubed. It's up to you for how you want to say it. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
What about 4-dimensional shapes?
We're not going to do those. You will not do those until after high school. All right. All right. What am I going to shade in for number 3? I'm going to give someone new a chance. Someone new a chance. What am I going to shade in for number 3? Sheldon?
1 and 1/3 and 2 and 2/3. Or 1 and both of the 1 and 1/3.
Yeah, so we can do this front square because it's 1 and 1/3 and 1 and 1/3. Okay. I want to point out we could have done like this side right here because that would have been the 1 and 1/3 and 6 and 1/4, but it doesn't matter as long as you pick one that has 2 numbers on it. So we have length, width, and height. What do my length and width have to be for this one, Jennifer? Mm-hmm.
1 and 2/3 times 1 and
So 1 and 1/3, and then that is, they're both 1 and 1/3 there. And so then my height is going to be 6 and 3/4, okay? Please make sure you type that carefully in your calculator using that ABC fraction button. Typing it carefully in using your ABC fraction button. This is a great chance to practice that. So please make sure you're typing that in. See if we all get the same answer. Once you get your answer, raise your hand and tell me what it is. Kaya? 18 yards to the third. Is that what y'all got? My fractions completely went away. 12?
I got 12.
12? Here, Kaya, let me see your calculator. All else fails, we'll just check Kaya's calculator. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go up. So we have our up. There's what happened. You put plus. 1 and 1/3. We want to change that to times 1 and 1/3. And then we can do times, what was it, 6 and what? 3/4. Yep, 12 looks good. All right. Thank you, Kaya. And that was a great opportunity for us to see. Even though we have the calculators and they make life a little bit easier, we still got to be careful. Double check what you type in. So that should be 12 yards to the third. All right. This next one that apparently I forgot to number. So this should be number 4. I don't know where that went.
It's in the hole.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay, I just punched through it. All right, this one has a lot more numbers on it. All right, pick two numbers that I could use for the base. Bailey?
10 meters and 4 meters.
10 meters and 4. So not this 4 and this 10, but the 10 and 4 that are on this back rectangle. So do I need this 4 anymore? No, because I've already used it back here. Do y'all see how that 10 and 4 are together right there? Okay. So I'm going to mark out this 4 because I don't need it. All right, so let's do A equals length times width times height. What's my length and width going to be here? V. Thank you. We're not doing area. Good call. Ooh, it's Monday. Y'all paying attention? Y'all awake? It's Tuesday. I'm going to stop talking. Y'all just do your notes on your own. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So volume, length times width times height. Maddie, what is my length and my width going to be here? 10 and 4. And what's my height going to be? 17. Do I need both 17s? No, just pick one of them. The other one's just extra. So even on volume, they can give you extra numbers that you don't need. Does that mean I have to try to use all of them? No, just mark out the ones we don't need. What do I get here in my calculator, folks? Ashlyn?
680.
What was it?
680.
680. And we're going to put meters to the third. Okay. Number 5, rectangular prism measuring 10 meters and 8 meters along the base and 12 meters tall. Do I need to draw it out? No. You don't have to draw it out. If you would like to, knock yourself out. I'm not going to because I just want to get my work done so I don't have to take it home. All right. What do my length and my width have to be? What numbers have to be my length and width, Julia? 10 and 7 because it says they're on the base, and then it tells me 12 meters tall. Tall represents what? A length, a width, or a height? Tall represents a height. So did that all plug in like it made sense? Okay, and then we multiply that out, and what do I get? Nathan? 840 meters to the third, or meters cubed. All right, guys, that's all you're doing on the back. I know some of them are shaded in. Use your pencil, use a highlighter, use a colored pencil, I don't care. Just make sure I can see what you're shading in as your base. Guys, we might not all shade in the same thing. This is going to be really important. Tomorrow we're going to be checking answers. Where I shaded might be different from what you shaded. And we can still get the same answer. On the test, I'll be looking at your shaded picture and making sure your length and width match to be able to give you points for that step. Okay? So please do that carefully. That's your homework, which really should be classwork. We should get it done in here.